What is going on, guys? So you may be asking yourself one of these questions: should I join the military right after high school, or should I wait just a little bit? Should I maybe have a little bit of fun with my life before I join the military? You may be running some of those questions through your head, and in this video I'm going to talk about that. Recently, there was a video that I posted talking about some of the things that I wish I would have done differently whenever I joined the military. And one of those was I wish I joined right after high school. I wish I would have joined the Army Reserves right before or right after high school and before college, so that I could have had that out of the way. I would have like 5 years time in service right now, basically being finished with my contract before being contracted as an officer now. So I was asked a question: so do you think it's better to join the military right after high school, or maybe you should wait a little bit? And that's a really good question. That's a question that a lot of you guys I know are asking yourself right now. Starting out, I definitely want to let you guys know that as a whole, if I were to just generally tell you guys, yes, it is better to join the military right after high school, and for one major reason: you're still young, right? If you wait until after college, if you wait until a few years after college, right, and then you decide to join the military and it's something you don't want to do, well, you could be like, if I joined right now, 24 years old, maybe a couple years later, let's just say 24 years old, my first contract won't be over for, let's say, another 4 years, right? So I'd be 28, almost 30 years old whenever my hypothetical contract would be over. Now, let's say on the flip side, I'm just graduating high school, I'm 17 or 18 years old, I decided to join the military. I want to go active duty, I want to do reserves, whatever the case may be. I decided to join the military. I go in, 4 years is up, my initial contract. Most people go in for 4 years for their initial contract. Mine was 6 years. Let's just say you're 18 years old. Well, you're going to be 22 whenever your contract's over. You're going to be still college age. You're still going to have so much years of your 20s left to go. And for the other person who decides to join later on in life, maybe when you're in your 30s, right? So those people watching this video probably in their 30s, and if you were to ask them, do you think you would have been better off if you would have just joined the military earlier on? They probably would say yes, and that's what I've heard from a lot of older guys who've been joining. They wish they would have done it earlier. Like myself, I wasn't necessarily old whenever I joined, but I was 22 whenever I joined the military. I actually turned 22 the day that I left for basic training. So May 12th is my birthday, and I left for reception or basic training or whatever on May 12th. So my 22nd birthday was when I left. So I was older, but I wasn't really that old. I was still kind of young as far as life standards go. So I was in my early 20s. But if I would have joined whenever I was 18 years old, that's an extra 3 years on top of whatever I have right now. So that's the really biggest reason I would say to join right after high school, is just the fact that you're still young. And if you're ever going to make a mistake in life, do it when you're young. Don't do it when you're later on in life. If you have a family, if you have kids and stuff like that, it's a lot easier to make mistakes when you're young. And if you make a mistake and join the military and you decide that you don't like it, well, you're still going to be 21, 22, 23 years old whenever your first contract is up, and then you could just leave the military. If you want to go to school, now you have school paid for. If you want to get a job, now you have some real life experience. But reason number two that people always kind of want to just put off the military is they want to party, they want to have their full life experience, they want to go to college and have the college life experience and all that kind of stuff. They want to do that, right? That's kind of in my opinion, kind of a bullcrap excuse, because maybe it's not, because you don't necessarily know it yet, but you might think 22, 23 years old is just kind of older. You might be 17 and you're just like, dang, that's like 6 years from now. That's ridiculous, right? But if you exit the military at 22 and you start to go to college, it's going to be essentially the exact same experience as you would have had whenever you would have gone at 18, 19 years old. The only difference is for a lot of people who want to do that, they want to go to party and drink, and they want to go to college and party and drink and all that stuff. But you're kind of doing all that illegally, and if you go into the military, you get out at 22, you go to college, now you can legally drink, you can actually have some fun, you can go to bars, you can have a lot more fun in college essentially than your beginner years, because a lot of times your freshman, sophomore, junior years, you really can't do that much because you're still 18, 19, 20 years old, and a lot of things that you guys want to do that want to have a full experience in college, you kind of wait until you're a senior in college when you're actually 21 years old. So that's something that's not really an excuse, and it's something for you guys to think about, that you're still going to be young, and if you want to have the college experience, right, you're still going to get to have that if you decide to join the military right after high school, go into the military, and then right after, going to college. You're still going to be young. You'll graduate honestly around the same age that I am now, because a few different reasons. My college career has been prolonged because of the military and ROTC and all that stuff. So I'm going to graduate college at 25, which surprisingly, there's a lot of older people in college, so you're not going to be like a strange person being like, 23, 24 in college. It's just not uncommon at all. The only caveat to all that I just said is if you're wanting to go active duty, right? And if you want to do active duty for 20 plus years and you want to make it a career. What I kind of said previously in the, first half of this video is kind of if you want to just go into the military, you end up just doing your first contract and you get out, right? If you're wanting to go in the Army, the military, whatever, and you're planning on doing 20 years, if you're planning on doing more than 20 years, well, number one, you might want to get a little bit of school out of the way, because doing school while in the military is difficult. It takes a whole lot longer to do. It takes a lot longer to finish classes. No matter what the heck your recruiter says, it takes longer to finish school when you're in the military on active duty, right? And the other thing is that whole life experience, right? If you're 17 years old, you haven't really done much, you haven't really gone anywhere, and you're wanting to join the military, you want to join the Army for 20 plus years, and you're thinking to yourself, should I join right after high school, or should I live it up for a little bit? Now, living it up for a little bit, it kind of goes with your own definition, but, I don't think it's the end of the world to take a year or two just to, work some regular job and then go into the Army, because if you join at 17, 18 years old, you retire at 37, 38. The difference between retiring at 38 and retiring at 40 in the Army after 20 years is negligible, but those extra couple years at the beginning would actually be kind of fun for you. You might get some fun experiences or whatever you want to do, but that's something, because yes, you can still have fun in the Army, you can have fun with your Army buddies, but if you want to go active duty for 20 plus years, that extra first few years. But on the flip side, like I said before, if you're only wanting to do your first contract and get out, then I suggest doing that as soon as possible, because you can still have fun and have all that fun you want to do whenever you're 18 and 19, whenever you're 23, 24. It's like the same exact experience. Now, what about the Army Reserves or the Army National Guard? What if you want to do that for 20 plus years like myself? What if you're like me and you want to join the Army Reserves and you want to be in that for at least 20 years, because it's really not that bad, it's not that difficult. You just do your initial training and you're done, right? Well, you're done as far as training goes. Then you can get a few deployments every now and then, but you're basically done. You're not gone all the time. You can still go to school and all that. What is my opinions on that? Well, if you're wanting to do the National Guard or the Army Reserves, I highly suggest what I said at the beginning of this video, which is do it right after high school. Reason being, if you do it right after high school, if you don't do any schooling, you're going to get some of the GI Bill to help pay for school. You're going to get some cool experiences, while you're young. You might even get to go to some cool places. You're just early in your military career if you get lucky to do a couple cool things. Could not say that whatsoever. But I definitely suggest that you guys, if you're wanting to do the Army Reserves or the National Guard, period, that you definitely do that as soon as possible, because one, if you make a mistake, you're still going to be young. Two, if you want to do school, you're going to have that to help pay for school. So if you want to do school and you join the military later, you might end up accumulating some debt that you could have had some of that paid for, or paid a little bit, half of it off or whatever. So that's something definitely to keep in mind. And if you're in the Army Reserves, you can still live it up. You can still do all that fun life experiences and stuff that you want to do. You might miss, a few minimal things every now and then. I mentioned that before. And, does the Army Reserve interfere with, life, school, work, and all that stuff? I made a video about that. But for the most part, you do the Army Reserves, you do the National Guard, you're going to get to get off on your military experience, as well as have fun on the civilian side. There you have it. Those are my opinions on whether or not you should join the military in general, Army more specifically for this video, right after high school. So feel free to leave any comments or further questions you guys have for me down in the comment section down below. You know, if you enjoyed this video, please like that, you know, like button. Just hit that little thing, because that really helps this video kind of share out to the rest of the people on YouTube. If you want to share it, the actual video, that would be fantastic as well. And if you want to hit that subscribe button, you want to check out some more videos later, some other things I'm going to talk about in the future, like a video I'm working on right now is the Army National Guard versus the Army Reserves, and what are the differences actually between those two. I've got that video coming up for you guys very, very soon, so stick around for that, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later.